The rain pelted the windshield as Emily Harper's SUV rolled into Willow Creek, a forgotten speck of a town in upstate New York. It was April 2025, and the GPS had given up miles ago, leaving her to navigate by faded road signs and instinct. She'd come to settle her estranged aunt's estate, a crumbling Victorian house left to her after Aunt Clara's sudden death 3 months prior. Clara, a recluse who'd cut ties with the family decades ago, was barely a memory to Emily. The lawyer's email had been curt. Clear out the house, sell it, move on. The house loomed at the end of a gravel road, its gabled roof sagging like a tired sigh. The windows were dark, the paint peeling in strips. Emily shivered as she stepped inside, the air thick with dust and something sour. Her flashlight swept over antique furniture draped in sheets, a grandfather clock frozen at 3:17, and walls lined with warped family portraits. The eyes in those paintings seemed to follow her, their expressions unreadable. She shook it off. She was here for a weekend, tops. That night, she sat up in the guest room, the only one not buried in clutter. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of the house settling. Around midnight, her phone buzzed, startling her. No bars, no Wi-Fi, yet a notification blinked. New voicemail, unknown caller. She tapped play, expecting static, but a low, distorted voice rasped, "You shouldn't be here. Leave." The message cut off. Her pulse spiked. A prank. A glitch. She checked the call log. Nothing. Uneasy, she locked the door and tried to sleep, but dreams of a shadowed figure watching from the hall kept her tossing. The next morning, Emily started sorting Clara's belongings. The study was a maze of papers, old radios, and journals filled with Clara's spidery handwriting. One entry, dated a year ago, caught her eye. The signal comes at night. It knows I'm listening. I can't stop. Another page mentioned the tower, a local radio mast abandoned since the 90s, rumored to have driven workers mad with its hum. Emily frowned. Clara had always been eccentric, but this sounded unhinged. She found a Polaroid tucked in the journal. Clara, younger, standing by the radio tower, her smile tight. Behind her, a faint blur shaped like a person stood in the trees. Emily's skin prickled. She pocketed the photo and kept digging, uncovering a shoebox of cassette tapes labeled "Recordings Do Not Play." Curiosity gnawed at her. In the corner, an ancient tape deck set, dust-covered. She hesitated, then popped in a tape. Static hissed, then a voice not Clara's, whispered, "They're still here, in the walls, in the air." A high-pitched whine followed, like a signal cutting through fog. Emily yanked the tape out, her ears ringing. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. She told herself it was just Clara's paranoia, but the words lingered. That afternoon, she explored the house, hoping to shake the unease. In the attic, she found a locked trunk, the key taped to its underside. Inside was a wedding dress, yellowed and stained with something dark, almost black. A note pinned to it read, "For you, always." The handwriting matched the Polaroids. Emily's stomach churned. Clara had never married. Whose dress was this? She slammed the trunk shut and left the attic. But the house seemed to hum now. A low vibration she felt in her bones. At dusk, the power flickered. Her phone buzzed again. Another voicemail. This time, the voice was clearer, female, desperate. "Get out. It's not yours." Emily's hands shook as she deleted it. She grabbed her keys, ready to leave. But the front door wouldn't budge. The lock was fine, yet it felt barricaded from outside. Windows wouldn't open either. Panic clawed at her. She pounded on the door, shouting for help, but Willow Creek was miles from anywhere. Back in the study, she found Clara's last journal entry. "The tower calls them. I tried to warn her, but she came back. She always comes back." Emily's breath hitched. Who was she? She remembered the town's lone gas station clerk mentioning Clara's visitor last summer. A woman who looked like her, he'd said. But Emily had never been here before. Had she? The hum grew louder, undeniable now, pulsing through the walls. Emily followed it to the basement, a damp crypt of exposed beams and dirt floors. In the corner, a radio sat, its dial glowing faintly despite no power source. It crackled to life, spitting static and that same high whine from the tape. Then, a voice, her own voice, screamed, "Don't listen." She stumbled back, heart hammering. The radio went silent, but footsteps echoed above, slow and deliberate. She hid in the basement shadows, clutching a rusted pipe. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time felt warped. The footsteps stopped, replaced by a faint scratching, like nails on wood. Her phone lit up one last time. Voicemail, Emily Harper. Impossible. She hadn't called anyone. Trembling, she played it. Her voice, sobbing, said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's me." The message looped, growing distorted, until it wasn't her voice anymore, but something older, colder, chanting her name. dawn broke, gray and weak. Emily crept upstairs. The house was still. The door now unlocked. She could leave, but something held her back. The Polaroid lay on the floor, though she swore she'd left it in the study. Now the blur behind Clara had a face. Emily's face. Her legs buckled. She didn't remember the photo being taken. Didn't remember this place. Yet it felt like she'd been here forever. She drove to the radio tower, compelled by a pull she couldn't name. The structure loomed in a clearing, rusted and skeletal. Its hum deafening now. At its base, she found a stone etched with names. Clara Harper, 2024. Emily Harper, 2025. Her scream died in her throat. The ground shifted, and hands, cold, impossibly strong, yanked her down into the earth. Weeks later, the house sat empty again. A new for sale sign went up, but no one stayed long. Locals whispered of lights flickering in the windows, of a woman's voice on dead phone lines, begging to be let out. The tower still hummed, and sometimes, late at night, a shadow stood at its base, waiting for someone new to answer its call. No one ever found Emily. No one ever will.